Thanks for watching The Personal History of Games. I'm your host, Eric Kanius. This week, we are joined by another good friend of mine, Jordan. Over the past 11 years that we've known each other, we've played a lot of games together, but sitting down for this chat, I wasn't expecting to get the types of personal stories that I did from him. We play some 1080 snowboarding for the N64 while we discuss his history with games. Here's that conversation. Who we got in this magical chair right next to me is my good friend Jordan.
It's me.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Eric.
How you doing?
I'm good.
And what game have you brought for us today?
I have brought 1080 Snowboarding. Arguably the best snowboarding game on the N64. Snowboard kids can get out of here.
Well, I have someone that will argue against that with you. But for now, you and I will talk. Why don't you hop in that game there?
All right. We'll just do some single player stuff.
Yeah, hop on in.
Oh, it's been a long time. We're going to go with normal to be safe.
The music of this game is all over the place so far.
It's great. Yep. That theme song at the start with our good pal Kensuke here going down the hill is like the hardest music I'd ever heard at this point in time in my life. And it was intense.
And what is this point in time in your life?
Oh boy, how old was I? Probably, I want to say like 8 or 9. I don't know exactly when this game came out, so that could be a lie, but I think it was about 9 years old.
Yeah, that's how you remember it, so that's fine.
Yeah, this game, my sister and I bought together. We each paid for half of it with our birthday monies combined.
Damn. And how did that go? Is that buying stuff with your sibling is risky business? They say don't go in business with family.
With family, yeah.
And that's the start of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankfully, it was a small investment, all things considered, but we both really wanted to get this game because it was one of the other games that we saw. My cousins, when my rich cousins came down from Ontario and they showed off their N64 they had, and we were like, this thing's so cool. Can we get one? And then we got one at Christmas, and then we were like, oh, we got to get, because we got Pokemon Snap with it, because that was the other game they had. And then we got this one. We were like, we got to get that other game our cousins have.
Yeah. And then you showed off in their faces?
No, they were already way back in Ontario by that point. I've only seen them like 5 times in my life. Anyway.
But what big effects they had on you?
Apparently, they were a catalyst to this whole video game nightmare that I live in now.
Why'd you pick someone?
All right.
Was your sister big into games? Or like at this time? No?
No, barely at all. Like N64 was where her video game career began and ended. But I think that's part of why this game holds like a special place for me, in that like my brother, my sister, and I all played video games together. And that's like definitely a thing that we've kind of all gone different paths for how much we're into games anymore. So I really liked that point. Even playing like Mario Party with them, even though I like really detest Mario Party. Those are also some good memories of just, the three of us getting to play games together.
Yeah. I guess, did you do anything else together? Like, was this a weird moment in the sun, or was this just like the one video game thing?
It kind of was like video games was like the one thing we all kind of did together.
What's the age gap?
My sister is 2 years younger than me, and my brother is 6 years younger than me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice win.
You always hear golf claps at the end of snowboarding races.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually really interesting now that I think about it, about how like that was a thing we all did together. Like we had some board games and stuff, but we didn't really play those. We do that more now, and even then, that's like we're all. Oh yeah, you have health in this.
Weird.
You can just die. We're all adults now, so like the board game stuff happens like maybe once a month, if that. So this was a time when we would all go to Blockbuster. My brother and I would each rent a game, and my sister would rent a movie, and then the family would all watch that movie, and then we would play some games on the N64 together. And it was usually, my mom was like not super into games, but she would like watch sometimes. So it was usually, because this has 4 controllers, we had to cut someone out, so Mom was usually just watching, but she was fine with that.
Your dad would play?
Yep. Oh yeah. Another like big memory. I forgot to stop. I couldn't turn tight enough. Oh, Rob, you're dying. Yeah, my dad would play. Actually, like a big memory with this game. Sorry, is that I couldn't beat. None of us could beat the like later levels where you could unlock like different characters and stuff. There's like a man made out of crystal and a man made out of gold.
What?
And Rob Haywood with a panda hat on, like a mascot panda hat thing. And we couldn't beat those levels at the end, so my dad actually beat it, and he didn't tell us at first. So he was like, "Hey, you should hit this button on the controller." And we were like, "How'd that happen?" He's like, "There's a crystal guy you can unlock. I did it the other day." I was like, "That's so cool!"
Wow.
Yeah. It was really interesting because at that point I didn't even really know much about like cheat codes and secret worlds and stuff. Like N64 was a big opening for that too. I was like, my dad's magic. He put this stuff in a video game. Does everyone know there's a crystal guy in 1080?
Cool.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's a big dad move.
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Strong dad game going on in the early Jordan household.
Totally.
Huh. That's interesting. So, gosh, it's just the idea of like a parent playing a video game on their own. It's really weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it is the same for you.
Or
if that was maybe a more normalized
like,
thing.
it's a little more normalized for me, I think, yeah, just because like my dad did that when we were younger. But I think part of it was also like we couldn't beat the last level.
Mm-hmm.
And we were getting frustrated with it, so I think he took it upon himself to like, when we weren't in the way, just because we were all so young, just go ahead and beat it himself. He could probably just do multiple runs of it and stuff. And like he doesn't play like a ton of games by himself even now, so that was definitely like he was younger, more carefree, didn't have as many responsibilities, I suppose, other than 3 children.
What is that?
I'm all right. I did okay. I always liked the reflections on the ice. I thought that was super cool.
Yes, the sense of speed in this game is surprising, especially after playing Snowboard Kids.
That's yeah. Oh man, like I didn't know about Snowboard Kids until like years later, and I was at a different cousin's house, and they were like, "Do you want to play snowboarding?" And I think they didn't really know much about 1080, so it was probably my earliest memory of me being a douchebag gamer and not realizing it. Like I was get-gooding my cousin and not realizing it because I was just like, this is not a good snowboarding game.
Oh,
like this
yeah, that happens.
This is like, I was like, this is so slow and laggy, and like, what is this like ski lift thing at the bottom of the track to do multiple laps? It's like that's not how a race works in snowboarding. And like, I mean, that one starts with like Snowboard Kids, and this one starts with like it's like Doom.
They're definitely going for their different attitudes.
Oh yeah, this one's got attitude.
The number fonts have like the little points on them, like they're dangerous.
Yeah, everything's got health. You can't die in Snowboard Kids.
It's true.
They're just kids.
Kids don't die.
Kids don't die.
Oh boy.
And I always really liked the green guy I'm racing against, which is somehow the racer in the final lap, even though he's like the slowest for the final track. He's the slowest racer in this game, but he's Canadian.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like someone from Canada.
Yes.
Like, all they did was just like put a Canadian flag at the character select, but I was just like, oh, my country is being represented.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Canada being in things. It's like, oh, we do exist.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I didn't understand. There's the large guy, Dion Blaster, is from the UK.
He's based on real people?
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all. But he doesn't have a British accent. So I didn't understand why they said he was from England.
Attention to detail they're missing.
Yeah.
Watch out, there's snowman ahead. As per that sign.
I can't even remember if there are snowmen.
Well, the sign is a warning of them. It doesn't mean there are them.
Oh!
Why didn't you go off the ramp?
Because that ramp actually like catches you, and you lose a lot of speed.
That's lame.
There's a lot of that. Or like I had to drift left onto this sidewalk because if I had gone straight on it, I would have hit the front of my board on the sidewalk.
Weird. So you're just remembering all this stuff? Is this coming back? Muscle memory?
Oh man, yeah.
Did you play this game a lot? Like a lot?
Yeah, a lot. Well, it was this in Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
So I played this a ton until I started to get other games, until I learned there were Star Wars video games, and then everything changed.
Oh no. Was N64 your first console in the house?
No. We borrowed from a family friend an NES for like 6 to 8 months or something.
Ooh.
Here's another tonal shift in music. It's all over the place. Also, we get a good upbeat, like a confidence boost from the announcer, because he says, "You did a good job." That might be in Trick Attack, but he does it in one of these.
I'll watch it fly around.
Yeah. Look at that sky. There it is. Thank you. Thank you, 1080 Snowboarding.
Nice positive atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You did a good job.
And then the drum and bass kicks in. We've got a metal song. We've got a drum and bass song. It's all over the place. We got that like light rap thing with character select.
That was weird.
You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
1080 opens doors.
Apparently, it grew your musical taste and your
or like solidified it into me thinking that like 1080 Snowboarding's theme song was the raddest shit. Though it is the raddest shit, I must say.
It's too evil for me.
Yeah, unless my cart was broken from the get-go, this is how the voice is supposed to sound.
I'm sure it is. Everything else sounds normal, so.
Yeah.
Or what's the next thing after N64? Your sister stopped playing games. Were you still playing games with your brother?
Yep, a lot. My brother and I played video games together for a long time.
What are the hits?
After that, we didn't get a new console for a long time after that, so it was either playing some stuff on computer, and our computer sucked, or it was playing stuff on my cousin's Xbox. So it was my cousin, a third different cousin.
Cousins coming out of the woodwork with these video games.
They all had different machines, and I had none. So
I mean, that's handy then. At least you get to try things.
Mm-hmm.
And you're related, so you get to go. Oh, I'm gonna come play.
Yeah, my cousin had an Xbox, so we played Halo.
Ooh.
So we played Halo a lot. Halo 1 especially.
Did you get up to the hardest tier?
Like legendary and stuff? No, actually, we didn't play single player much because there were 3 of us playing, sometimes 4 with my dad.
Do 3?
No, in the first Halo, I'm pretty sure you could only do 2.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it was like Halo 3 that they added like the ability to do 4.
Probably.
Or maybe even later. I kind of fell off Halo as my cousin stopped picking them up.
But yes, Halo is the great unifier. I played a lot of that with friends as well.
We played Halo a ton, and we played so much of the Fusion Frenzy demo on the Halo disc.
Yep.
Played Twisted System like over and over and over.
That's
the
best game in the game.
It's the only one that's good.
Yes. It's the best fusion friendly game. The other one where you're in the ball and you run into each other is also good.
Yeah. But Sumo, I think they called it.
Something like that, yeah.
But we had played Mario Party at that point, so we were like, oh, this is just bumper balls, which is like a mini game from like the first Mario Party. We were like, they're just ripping off Mario Party. It's like, that can't be good.
Your dad was still playing though?
Yeah. Halo.
You can make the leap into first person shooters?
No. He could not. He also played like Super Smash Bros with us on the N64, and he could not do that either.
He was insufferable with how good he was at was it recovery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His I don't know. I can't think of any like competitive Smash buzzwords off the top of my head. But yeah, no, he would play everything with us because he just had fun playing with us. But he wasn't really. Like 1080 was his peak for like being able to play games. It was really funny. Like I don't have a memory of my dad's fall from grace as like the best gamer in the house. But we would play like 1080. No, we would play Smash Bros. And he would just pick like Mario because Mario had the fireball move and he could spit it from like halfway across the map. So he would just be like constantly spamming that one button, not moving and throwing fireballs and laughing because my brother and I would be fighting each other because we knew fighting Dad wasn't like, it was like poor form because like Dad couldn't defend himself. So it's just like, oh, that's just mean, going fighting Dad. So he would just laugh as he like caused more chaos to our fight.
Man, this is my type of gamer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All he did was troll people. And so when he moved to like playing Halo with us, Dad always played with us and always had fun, even though he knew he was the worst player in the group. So he would just like sit in a Warthog. We'd play like teams and stuff, and he'd just like sit in the Warthog and sit in the machine gun and just say, "Someone drive, I'll just shoot," because he didn't know how to drive.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, the driving was weird in that game.
The driving is weird in that game. It's the only game that does driving like that.
Yes.
But then he didn't play much other than Halo. Like he would play stuff if there was room for another, but he also knew that he like wasn't that great, so he was like, it always felt bad. He was like, if you guys just want to play like the two of you, that's okay. It was just like, oh no, well now look what you done. You broke our hearts. We can't.
Other than that, it sounds like he has the right attitude with games. He's like, I'm just here to have fun. Whatever.
Totally. My mom's like only game was Dr. Mario.
Ooh, puzzle games.
Yeah, so we played Nope, not puzzle games, just Dr. Mario.
Yeah, well, that's a puzzle game.
No, I'm just making it abundantly clear that she played nothing but Dr. Mario. She played it. There was an N64 version that had up to 4 players, so we would play. Once that came out, we got that right away. I think Mom might have even bought it for herself. But she would play Dr. Mario on the NES when we were really young. Like my brother wasn't born yet, and my sister and I were like probably 4 or under. She would go to her friend's house, and they had an NES, and she joked that she was like going to do drugs, to like take a chill pill from the kids, and so her drug of choice was Dr. Mario.
I mean, Dr. Mario had the drugs.
He's unlicensed.
Yes,
it's been stated.
Also, that is adorable. Like, also, it runs in the family. I see.
What?
Nothing.
Just hiding away and playing video games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go do something. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, Doctor and Mario.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, there's some... The apple is apparently, now that I have said it out loud, does not fall far from the tree.
It all comes together.
On the enjoying isolation.
That's fun, though. It's always fun hearing about parents play games for some reason, at least from our generation, because it was so new.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's weird and fun.
I remember one time my cousins and I and my brother were playing like Smash Bros. And my grandma came downstairs, bless her heart, to try to relate to us.
She came out in a Waluigi costume.
Wow! I brought cookies. They're shaped like gourds? It's mushrooms, Grandma. Oh. No, not far off. She came down and asked, is this a Game Boy? We were playing N64 at the time. And one of my cousins was like, it's an N64, Grandma.
One of your cousins.
Yeah, one of my cousins.
Not you.
No, because I vividly remember saying, that was mean. Like, aloud. I was just like, Grandma doesn't know. It's like, you've been to Grandma's house. Have you seen, like, any video game stuff? No, we go to Grandma's house and watch Wind in the Willows on public TV.
I'm esports.
Is this esports? Are you boys hype yet?
See, you could have said, if she said, is this a Game Boy? You go, I'm a Game Boy.
Yeah. Like, I still remember it. And, like, memories, like, change every time you remember them, but I still, like, in my head remember, like, almost saying, like, kinda... You know, just because, like,
totally.
I knew she meant well, and even then I was, like maybe, 10 at the time, type thing. So I was, like, you could tell that she was just trying. She's trying.
Yes.
And, yeah.
It's
like, kind of, Grandma. But yeah, it's just like, it's an N64. Like, oh my God, get it right. And it's just like, ugh.
I joke to soften the blow of how terrible people who play games are, including us as younger. Mm-hmm. Even though that example wasn't you. But we've all had those times. And it sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it sucks, especially to think back on it. It's like people that are just like walking by and you go, fuck you.
Yeah.
You don't know about the N64. Get the fuck out of here.
You live under a rock, you idiot.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's such bullshit. I don't know why video games do that to people.
I don't know.
It's such a weird thing. Like that, it's something I'm exploring. Not particularly with this series, but it's a question always asked. And like, why do this series?
Like, why is there such extreme gatekeeping on stuff? Or
yeah,
like,
I guess gatekeeping exists everywhere, but I guess my experience is with games because I play games.
Yeah.
And I know it exists everywhere else.
Yeah,
it's just a weird.
There's so many people unwilling to like onboard people into video games.
Yes.
And just like you're supposed to. I feel like so much nerd culture does that.
Yes. No. Totally. And there's like
you haven't seen every single Marvel movie. Well, then why are you even talking to me?
Yes. Yeah. That's a whole wound I'm not going to open. Not even wound. It's a whole thing I don't want to open on.
This we don't have the time.
No.
To unpack
or
that
the
one.
Capacity. I have to have everyone in the world to come talk about this because you gotta get everyone straight on this. Come on,
yeah.
Just everyone's big. Come on, what are you doing?
Also, if you haven't played any, fuck you. No.
Well, I haven't played it, so goodbye. I'm a snowboard kid for life, and I'm gonna kill you.
No.
Just like you're killing these flags.
Oh man, they're killing me. I remember being good at this, I think, at one point. Not good enough to beat the last couple levels, obviously, but
clearly.
I remember getting older and coming back to this game like years later, like 10 years after that it was unlocked for me. And like beating those levels, like beating the last 2 levels or the very last level and unlocking the crystal guy for myself.
Ooh.
And I was just like, I've done it. I've become my father. Like I've that thing that was like amazing that he did. It's like I was able to do it.
You pushed your dad into an old folks home.
Yeah, I was like, get out of here, Dad.
No, that's definitely a thing. Especially with games. Like movies, you have the memories, or like music or whatever, you have the memories of like, I watched this with a thing or in the time and I remember it fondly. And then games are this thing that can grow and change as you do. And yeah, you have these moments of just like, oh, now I do it and it's easier. I grew.
Yeah, or I've stepped away from it for 10 years and this is super hard now.
Yes.
I cannot do this anymore. But yeah, I had put those levels on like such a high pedestal and then like left those emotions on a shelf for 10 years. So then coming back, I was just like, oh my God, I did it.
Yeah.
Beat that level.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know if it's validating, but it just shows change and growth in a more tangible way because you are affecting it. Because like you can watch old movies and you go like, yeah, this is shitty, but I still like it because I liked it as a kid, or like I liked it when I was younger for specific reasons. But with games, it's like I'm playing this now and I am better at things and I understand this more, etc., etc. After N64, even outside of family, did you have any? Can you think of any specific moments of like, were games ever helpful in making friends in school or growing those friendships?
Yeah, definitely. Video games have been such a huge part of my life. I think that was like what I used for building every relationship is like, well, yeah, like we're both on the same soccer team, but like, do you play video games? And it's like, no. And it's like, okay, I don't know what you do with your time.
What else is there to do?
What else is there to do? What are you, like, coloring books or something?
That's all I know.
That's all I know. I went straight from coloring books and board games at Grandma's house, playing Payday every day.
Every day.
Man, every time I went to Grandma's house, I played Payday, the board game. It was my favorite game, and I don't know what that says about me, that as a child, I was like, I love this game that simulates adulthood.
Make bank.
Make bank. It's like, I have to pay bills. Debt. Oh.
Grandma got fat stacks.
I'm paying grocery bills in this video game, in this board game.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, kids are weird.
Kids are weird. But yeah, like in school, I remember most of like the times I would be going over to a friend's house, we were playing video games, or I would have friends over and we were playing video games at my place. That was always like at the core of a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair. And I feel, not to get even more not political, but just like male relationships usually need a thing. And it's easy, especially for games, like that is an easy thing to do at home. So you're not having to go out and like, let's go to the park or let's play a sport. It's just like, let's play a game. It's at my house so I can stay here, or we go to your house and you stay there. It's not that big of like an investment time-wise, and also games are fun, so whatever. Yeah, so it totally makes sense. Was there a unifying game for people? Was this a large group, or are you doing one-on-ones?
There's a lot of one-on-ones. I would go to like one friend's house, and it was just me going there and stuff. Like, I think most of the big gatherings that I would have with friends were just birthday parties, and usually video games aren't happening at kids' birthday parties because parents just want the kids to be outside and not mess the house up.
Yes.
So almost all of my birthday parties in elementary school were going bowling, like all
Classic.
of them. It was like bowling every year.
Yeah, me too.
Nice. With the gutter guards, of course.
Oh yeah, why not? It's your birthday.
And my dad is super into art. He has a degree in it. That's how into it he is. So he would always make fun cakes. I remember he made an R2-D2 cake for me one year.
Is that art?
Hey, it's more than just putting frosting on the cake.
Oh yeah.
No, like
I was just being a doink.
Like
that's cool.
He cut it in the shape, so the cake was in the shape. It wasn't just a square cake with like a drawing of R2-D2 on top and frosting.
You put a Rembrandt on top. That's why I have a picture. Just some real art.
Yeah, it's R2-D2 in a powdered wig. R2-D2. He's in a powdered wig, riding a horse, sword outstretched, leading the charge.
Yay! I remember him.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep interrupting.
I don't necessarily know where that story was going anyway.
Parents doing lovely things.
I remember that cake because it had like those like little metal balls that are like
Yes.
technically candy, but like rocks, and I hated that part of the cake.
Oh, those are good.
No, it's so hard. It's like they hurt. They hurt my tiny child teeth.
That's what they're for, is to break.
No.
But your cake stories reminded me of a cake story
Lay it
a
on
little
me.
bit on the opposite side, where it's having a birthday at the
Did you
bowling
have
alley.
the saddest birthday cake you've ever had?
Birthday at a bowling alley, and my mom, before we got there, she dropped the cake, but flat on its bottom, so it's just like...
So did it like separate the frosting from the cake?
No,
like it like shot up?
It just collapsed. So like the bottom shot out the sides. But it's still had the lid on. So I was like, it's still good, and brought the cake and like took the lid off, and it's like flat because the momentum of dropping a cake on the ground is a lot.
It sounds like a hefty cake. That's a terrible way to start a party.
It's a big sheet cake, like one of those big rectangular cakes from the store. And yeah, just dropping it, and goes. Then just the top pushes down on the bottom shoots out the sides. And
I really want to buy a sheet cake and just see the results. Like I want to reenact
yeah, we
this.
could recreate this birthday. But yeah, that's where
I don't want to.
Birthdays might differ.
I don't want to take you back there emotionally. I'll do that cake drop on my own time.
Now. It's funny now.
It might reawaken some feelings if you see it again, though.
I was laughing waiting to tell the story because it's so ridiculous. There's just the contrast. My dad made artisanal cakes. Like, Mom dropped the cake, and that's what we used because that's what we had.
Oh, man.
Being a parent's hard.
It's totally
That's
hard.
why I'm so impressed by your dad. Like, doing all these things because, man, tough work. It was a good memory. Thanks for bringing it back.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. To get back on track.
Another 2 hours of us talking about cake.
Yay. Hey folks, if you're enjoying this podcast, Being to Media has another new podcast I think you'll love. It's called Do We Like, and I co-host it along with my partner Robin. Robin, do you want to explain the show?
Thanks, Eric. Hi, I'm Robin, co-host of Do We Like. a podcast where Eric and I debate common people, places, and things to decide if we like them or need to leave them. Join us each week as we debate controversial topics like pickles, underwear, bubble tea, and Queen Elizabeth I. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, or come find us at dowelike.com.
Are you normally a one-on-one type of person, type of gal?
One-on-one?
In like friendships, hangouts, and stuff. Just to get context.
I was for most of like high school, or most of elementary school I was, but just because everybody lived far from everybody else.
Yeah, do it.
And nobody got rides anywhere, and I didn't like riding my bike far to someone's house or anything. I had one friend who lived like on the street next to mine.
Ooh.
So he and I would hang out, and he had a ColecoVision.
What?
I never played it because I didn't understand what that meant. But he did, so I just always, that word is stuck in my brain. I still, to this day, don't actually know what ColecoVision stuff, like games, look like.
Yeah, I can't picture them.
But I just remember, like, I think he had a Super Scope.
What?
Which is, it's like the NES pistol, but it's like big.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of those. Weird.
So yeah, he had like a weird collection of stuff, but like he grew up with it, so he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I would just be like, "What's that thing?" He's like, "It's a ColecoVision." And I was just like, "You said nonsense syllables."
I would want a Nintendo.
Yeah, it's like, but let's go play Yoshi Story or something.
That's wild. Just the back in the heyday before the internet, where people just had whatever. And because what did the parents know? You just get what you get. You see an ad for one, and you go, "That's cool," and you get it. And wow, I'm glad to hear these stories of seeing people with these other things.
I remember I always wanted to have a Game Boy so I could play Pokemon, and I never got a Game Boy until I was like a teenager, working a job and saving up my own damn money for it.
You get the original Game Boy?
Yeah. I bought the original Game Boy, and I bought a 50-pack of AA, and that weekend was great. Yeah, well, and you've just reminded me that my dad's dad, my grandfather on my dad's side, had a Atari 2600. Ooh. So I remember playing Defender and Centipede and stuff like that. And I remember asking my grandma, I think they had that machine for word processing, but like they had some games. They just like happened upon them at some point. So I remember asking my grandma, like what game do you like to play of this thing? 'Cause like in my head, my child head, like my grandparents, once they're done giving me like Pop-Tarts and cookies and chips for breakfast, which is a real thing that happened one time, my parents were not impressed. I don't think. My grandma was like, they loved it. And I was like, oh, of course they loved it. You gave them a bag of barbecue chips for breakfast.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Sweet.
Yeah. But I was like, what? In the 2-player, I was always confused as a kid. In the 2-player, none of this fire stuff exists.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because the effects are too much.
Yep.
This 2D sprite that's just repeated everywhere. No! There's a ring of fire up there. It looks really cool. We'll never see it.
Too bad.
Oh boy, let's straighten out here, Kensuke. Yeah, I was like, Grandma, what games do you like to play? And she's like, oh, I like the Centipede one. And so I was just like, oh my god, my grandma plays Centipede. That's so cool. And then I, go back to elementary school the next day. It's like, does your grandma play video games? Since my grandma's dead. Oh.
Classic.
Oh, Jordan. Foot in mouth, Jordan. I still have all 4 of my grandparents, and I don't know how to deal with
brag.
that. Yeah, weird flex, but okay. I have no idea how to deal with any of that stuff. That got too real for this.
No, whatever. I mean, yeah, it is something I think about as well. I have 2 of my grandparents, and then I know people with none, and it's just like,
Yep. My wife has none, and I never met any of them, and so it's very weird.
Another weird brag.
I never met any of them. Yeah.
Weird flex, but okay.
Oh, I did it. Is this the mirror match? I think this is the mirror match because I think his alternate color is all red.
Ooh. Good color lighting on those trees. There's some on the track too. Is this Jerusalem?
I
Is it a
don't know.
manger?
Some sort of like winter festival.
Yeah.
There's no reference to like where any of these tracks are, except the first level is Crystal Lake, and I was just like, I made the realization recently that I was like, oh, that's where Friday the 13th happens. Oh my god!
I never would have put that together.
But this is just Crystal Lake. It's not Camp Crystal Lake. So maybe Jason is not.
That's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big lake. Big lake.
Lakes are big.
So going into adulthood, games still big in your life.
Too big, some might say.
Some might say. She might say.
I'm gonna do the. Oh, I already entered the first one. I'm gonna enter what I always did, and I don't know why. I think it's because I knew what this was. It was like, this is 3 letters that fits. I never thought about my initials. My initials are also 3 letters, but I was just like, FBI. Yeah,
I love the police.
It's not even the right country. The FBI doesn't exist here. Yeah, I remember.
Weird.
Did you ever get did you borrow games from Blockbuster?
Yes.
Did you have a cart-based
No.
console? Okay, because all your stuff would have been saved on a memory card then.
Yes.
So you didn't experience then. Oh, that's my brother. Second. Take that, Josh, from however many years ago.
I was thinking that was you because you have the same initials.
Nope, different initials.
Oh, different middle name.
Yep.
Oh. So you had to experience what from the Blockbuster
Oh,
squares?
from renting the same game card twice, or same cartridge twice.
Uh-huh.
Like finding your save file, because the saves are saved on
yeah.
the cart. So then you play your game for a week or 5 days, depending on where you rented it from, and then you take it back. And then I remember my brother's friend from elementary school got that cart the following week, and then we went back the following week, and I got the same cart again.
Whoa.
And so, because he was like, oh, like so-and-so has the cart that you were playing on. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Tell him not to erase my save.
Aw.
And he didn't. And I got to keep playing the same save. I got 2 full weeks
Wow.
of Zelda and still didn't beat it.
That's crazy. I never even thought of that. That's like some weird playing by proxy
It also
community thing.
It also allowed you to have this like arcade style thing, like with 1080.
leaderboards.
Yeah. So you could go back, as nobody was doing FBI and anything. It just continues to be my trend of just like picking some dumb name for everything, and nobody using it, so it's always available. So I would rent a game again and see FBI like in like 3rd place, and I was like, oh, someone beat my time.
Ooh, that's fun. I never thought of that before. That's
very
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
I also didn't have a disc-based console until I had a Wii.
Ooh.
I didn't get a GameCube or an Xbox
You
or
had a
anything.
PC though.
I had a
right?
PC eventually,
Yeah.
but for the longest time it was just like the family computer that my dad was able to buy with the like program with his work. It was like, well, my work technically owns this computer, so don't mess around with it too much. I never understood what that meant. I was just like, are they like watching all the time? Like I can't, like, what if the virus gets on here? It'll get traced back to my dad and he'll get fired. It's like he really
put the fear in you.
Yeah, he really could have explained it a little better on like just like don't break it,
Maybe that's deliberate.
because maybe that probably.
There's a big gap there in your
Oh yeah,
having time.
yeah. I didn't know, like, this is still another like childhood memory, but I didn't understand loading because I had a cartridge-based machine, so there's no loading on the N64 because everything's just like on a stick of RAM basically. So when people would like, I'd go over to someone's house and they're like, I have a PlayStation. And they're like, it uses CDs, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I was like, why does it only have 2 controller spots? Why can't you play games with more than 2 people? That doesn't sound fun. And then like a screen pops up and nothing's happening. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, it's loading. I was like, what does that mean? And so we just gotta wait. It's gotta read it from the disc. I was like, why do you want that to happen?
In the lap of luxury before.
I was like, this PlayStation thing is leaps and bounds worse. Because you gotta load, and you're just looking at me like this is totally okay. Yeah. Oh man. I'm pretty sure this is my dad's ghost. These
Dark.
Dad? My dad is Dion Blaster?
And he's trapped in that.
And he's trapped in the N64. I gotta Tron my way in
I turn on the cartridge
Jumanji
once a year.
him out. Oh, yeah.
Eventually I'm going to have to change the battery in the cartridge, and then I'm so scared.
Oh, no. This took a real turn.
What a reveal. Your dad is a ghost in the game all the time. That's how we unlocked the crystal for you.
This is the secret thing that we learned, is that I actually never met my dad, and this is just like I just say my dad is like the N64 or something.
Yep, and you turn
That's
it
my
on,
dad's
and then
ghost.
Dion Blaster is talking to you through the game, saying, "I unlocked the crystal glider for you, Sonny."
Yo, all right, man. That's all Dion says. And then if you go off a high jump, he goes, "Ooh."
He is a ghost.
Yeah. And then you usually crash because Dion has terrible jump stats, so he just like can't land for shit. It's always funny. He's a terrible character.
But a great dad.
What a great dad.
Anyways, some gap in consoles, PlayStation loading.
Yeah, I continued to play N64 for a very long time.
Huh.
And like trying to play games on the computer, but I didn't know what a video card was, and like my family didn't either.
Yeah, well,
like
that's a
PC
big
people.
learning curve.
So I remember playing Age of Empires 2 a lot in my youth. That was like one of the games.
That'll run on anything.
Hmm?
That'll run on anything.
Exactly. Never played Doom or anything like that. I grew up in a bit of a sheltered Christian home, so like I remember buying the Diablo 2 battle chest, which has like a big red skull on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having to like kind of hide that as I brought it into the house,
Yeah.
because I didn't want anyone to see that. And then I remember like my dad like saw the box, he was like, "Diablo?" I was like, "Yeah," and like I tried to put a very like pro-Christian spin on it. I didn't realize it like until I'm saying this now. But I still remember saying to him something. It was something to the effect of like, "Yeah, but you're like a warrior, like trying to find the devil and kill him, because Satan's bad, right? Right?
High five.
High five. Hate that guy." But yeah, and I'm sure my dad is just like, "Okay, whatever." And
You can only do so much for these kids.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep lying. It's better than drugs, I guess.
yeah,
It's nothing, I swear. A disc falls out of your pocket. What's this?
yeah.
When you started getting your own money and your own stuff, you started to branch out.
Oh, and I bought a PSP Go.
Nice. Yes. The PSP Go story.
Multiple friends, including you, I'm sure, telling me that I shouldn't get it and would regret it. And me saying, "Nah, screw it. It's like a PSP, but it's just the hard drive. It's great."
Yeah.
What a letdown. I still have it.
No regrets. You got the PSP Go.
I have a PSP Go,
Yeah,
which
put
is
some
a
NES
thing a
stuff
lot
on
of
it.
people can't say.
Exactly.
It didn't even run emulators well.
What? I thought that was what it was for.
No, that's what the PSP disc one was
Oh.
for. There's a specific, the one our mutual friend was the one that was like old. It was like one of the first iterations of it, and it was the most easily moddable. The PSP Go had lots of fun things, like you could only get stuff from the PSP store, or the PlayStation store, to buy games. However, the store wasn't different for the PSP Go versus the regular PSP. So I remember getting so mad at that thing. Because you had demos for games that were only available in disc form. So I would get the demo for something. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this Dragon Ball Z fighting game, this game seems so cool. I can't wait till it comes out." Wait, it's been out for 2 years? How come I can't get it? And like going online and seeing like it's only available on UMD, and I was just like, "What is this shit?"
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it was the worst tease ever. So then, like, that was what that was what really burned me on the PSP Go. I was like, I can't even trust the store to like have the things I want to buy.
That's too good.
So most games like didn't even come out on the PSP store because people were still just buying UMDs because they didn't stop making the regular PSP.
Yes, it's true.
And that was before like digital stores were the mainstream.
That was
So-
you were the what is that? The guiding light, the canary,
Early adopter, the canary in the mine,
yeah, but the opposite. But you still died.
the lab rat,
Yes.
the crash test. Like I am the oldest child,
You
so
were the one that
I've had a
opened the
lot of
door.
experience of being the like test kid for stuff.
Yeah. You were the one that opened the door to let the real online digital stores come through.
Yes,
And
I
then you
paid
got
it.
crushed by the heavy door
I
afterwards.
paid it forward.
Exactly.
You're welcome, future gamers.
Yes. Future gamers.
Future is now,
Something like
as he
that.
holds a PSP Go.
Yep. In your weird shiny suit.
Yeah, it's like all metallic.
Yep.
Look
Go
like-
forth and play.
Like Devo or something.
Yep. Exactly. Well, after your PSP Go fiasco, that didn't stop you from buying stuff you regretted.
No. Is there another thing that
No.
you, like comes to mind on the
Nothing
top of your head?
specifically, but we all have those times. Just
Brink is another one, but we don't necessarily need to just like, here's a bad game that Jordan bought, because that will be here forever.
I mean, that's just the Steam store, all the sales.
Yeah.
Ugh.
After not playing on consoles for a long time, like not getting a GameCube or being able to get an Xbox or a PS2 or any of that sort of stuff, I would play those machines at a friend's house, and I would just play Age of Empires at home or what have you. And eventually I got a computer that like ran well enough to play a lot of games, and then I kind of just shifted to that, not realizing how expensive it is to have a gaming PC, and
Yeah.
and not knowing like what ports are.
Yes.
So like, why does this game look so crappy compared to the one that my friend was playing on the PSP or PS2?
the PSP
The
Go.
PSP Go.
It's everywhere.
Every PSP Go version is better than anything else. I think handicap is rubber banding, but I don't entirely know. Like it forces
I'm gonna
the
keep it
first
on for
place
me.
to slow it down.
I'm on the bottom half.
Yeah. So then I moved into like playing stuff on the PC, and now I have that absurd Steam library, and I don't really play a lot of stuff on consoles. I mostly bought an Xbox 360. It's a Rock Band machine.
Yeah. That's what these machines are for. My PS3 is a Rock Band machine.
If you tap forward at the start,
Figured it was doing something.
it gives you a little shoot forward.
I wish you didn't have the squeaky controller because this one's not squeaky, but oh well.
If you hold Z, you'll crouch and go faster, but you won't turn as well.
A also does that.
A jumps.
Wow. Fun. I keep dying.
If you hold A, you will like prep a jump.
Yes.
But I don't think that actually speeds you up. I think that's just for jumping. If you want to go fast, it's all Z.
Got it. This lady's really giving it.
Oh, yeah.
This song.
There
Fuck.
goes the phone.
There goes the phone.
Listen, man. I don't know. I don't even necessarily know
Why
if
did I
those
fall? Am I
Uh,
supposed to press Z when I land?
that helps. If you don't land flat enough, you can like tap.
Super flat.
You say Z? What country are we in? Are you keeping it?
Keeping it Americano? No, I don't mean to say Z. I just happened to. I retired.
I win because you died.
Oh. Yay!
You can't turn off health either.
Well,
So
I'll make it work.
yep. If you change to Ricky, the green Canadian guy, he'll land better.
Okie dokie. He's winterborn. Sure, I'll
We're
do it.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. They, I know, like, it's all ingrained in my brain, man. Everything everyone says in this game. There's not a lot of lines, but yeah,
There's a lot of love.
there's a lot of love.
Ready? What was your relationship with TF2? You played that a lot.
Oh, God! I forgot about
How do you
TF2.
forget about TF2?
I don't know. That was like my favorite game for years. Like all of high school, I played TF2 like crazy. And even after that is still, I think to this day, my most played video game. and I don't know if it'll ever get topped because I don't play a single game that long ever anymore.
Yeah, like if you played in high school, I didn't meet you until after high school, and you were still playing it for 5 years.
Yeah, man. It's really
What do you think was
daunting.
about it?
I really liked that was like one of the first
Out of the way.
multiplayer games, like online multiplayer games that I played a lot. Like I didn't play Quake or like Counter-Strike. I didn't know what Counter-Strike was.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I learned about America's Army before I learned about Counter-Strike.
America's Army's free.
It is free. Is it like a recruiting thing?
It's made by the U.S. Army or funded by the U.S. Army.
Yeah. That was the first time I heard frag out, and I was so confused on what that even meant because I didn't know what a frag was, or I don't think I even really knew what a grenade was. But anyway, TF2, I was like the first online game I played, and it was at the time I was better at video games than I am now. I cannot play online shooters at all anymore.
Hey man, we're gonna get to that.
But I was pretty all right at that game, and there was some bullshit in that game that allowed me to feel really good about my ability to play, like the spy who can turn invisible almost indefinitely and one hit kills people from behind, which is, now that I think about it, kind of a shitty game mechanic, but boy was it fun.
You could see the ghost though.
Only if he bumped into something.
No.
If he was standing still or moving, it was fine. It was just if he bumped into a player, then you could see him.
Oh, I was not aware. Maybe that's why I was not great at it. But there's a lot of variety in that too. Like even I don't play a lot of online shooters, especially not like that.
Yeah, well, and that was like a big class-based thing.
Yeah,
too,
so you could
right?
just
So there's
do
lots
a
of
bunch of
different
different
roles.
stuff.
Yeah, TF2. Oh my god. So actually, I was reminded of that game like 2 weeks ago, and I messaged our mutual friend who I played TF2 with basically every day. He and I were both playing Team Fortress 2 all the time, and we just like reminisced for a while about like, man, we'll never have a game like that ever again, or a time like that ever again. It made me feel like old, and not in a way that I should feel old, because it's like a video game. It's not like, oh, remember that like that tough time in our lives or something like that, or like, there's just like, man, I miss that one video game.
Oh, don't undersell it. You're allowed to be wistful about it's still a time in your life and you're doing a thing. I wouldn't undervalue that. You're allowed to feel nostalgic about that, because it's definitely, like there are a bunch of things in the past that we cannot redo, but at least we had those times.
You'll also notice there's no reflections anymore.
Of course.
I, again, was very confused as to why the graphics were, like, dropped down significantly in the two-player mode. Oh, Ricky. It's nice that they make the damage meter flash and blink at you, or chime at you when you're almost dying, because that's definitely when your stress is the lowest.
Yep. Who needs it? But yeah, like having a game can definitely bring you close, especially, I mean, depending on the circumstances, all this stuff, but having a game that brings you closer to a friend or a person is valuable, and kind of doesn't matter what it is or where it is, but like that's a whole bunch of time you spent together, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And like, to speak personally, you and I are spending a lot more time hanging out and playing games together because of Battlegrounds. Like that is a game that is clicked with both of us, and we both enjoy it, so it's easy for us to both play it.
I think a nice thing about Battlegrounds is there's so many slow moments too.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of lulls, because we don't play aggressively, but there's like a lot of lulls that allow us to just like chat. So it's kind of like Battlegrounds is kind of just a chat room that we occasionally have to play a game in.
Yeah. And that's okay. Whatever brings people together.
Oh, totally.
That's how I feel about it.
But that's I think that's kind of one of the things I like about it, that also like definitely helps with like building a friendship with the game. Because in a lot of other shooters, I am so focused on everything that's going on. It's all so fast that I don't have time to ask like anybody like, how's how's things going at work or whatever.
Yeah. It's basically like we're putting on the game, be it a sports game or like a watching a thing. We're basically watching a thing, and then people run at us and shoot us, and then we go, oh, we watched that happen. And we're able just to talk around it.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel, valuable. And it's nice that we're still able to see, although specific things and specific moments in the past might not happen again, but new things can come along and, yeah, bring those similar but different and new experiences. And definitely didn't expect it, especially not from Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
But
that's a very good point. Like, I think I put the Team Fortress 2 times on such a pedestal. I don't really think about the fact that, like, it's basically the same thing with Battlegrounds.
Yeah. And like, although you and I have stuck with it the most, there's definitely like a whole group of us that have played it, and we've gotten to know each other a lot better through playing it. And like, now you're playing D&D with all them and all that stuff.
Yeah, and they live in an entirely different country.
Yeah, so it's able to grow and change and whatever brings you together, sort of thing. And Battlegrounds was that thing for us now. And what will it be tomorrow? Who knows? That's the whole magic of video games, and that's why I like talking about the personal history of video games. And that's why I thank you for being on the show, Jordan.
Oh, thank you.
I think
You're very welcome.
That brings it to today, and that wraps it up pretty nicely here. Let's just play one last round of this little game. I'm going to jump at the start and fuck everything up.
Nice. It's a good strategy. It's a power move.
Yep. Big flex, handicap, take me away.
Yep.
First.
I'm going to do the big jump.
I'm back up here with you. Yeah. Ooh, I did it. I did not jump. That's okay. Oh. Got anything to promote?
Hell no.
Follow your Instagram?
I don't have an Instagram.
Oh.
I'm pretty off social media. I actually disabled Facebook on my phone. My phone had an update, and it kept telling me that Facebook had crashed, like, repeatedly. I would say, okay, cool, and then it would, like, pop right back up, so I had to disable Facebook entirely.
Facebook is only good for Messenger.
Yeah, apparently that's the worst. Learn that today, too. So.
That's the worst.
No, that works.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it doesn't need the main Facebook app to be enabled in order for a Messenger to still work, so.
That's good.
Yeah. No, I have no promotions.
Well, fine then.
Yeah.
I have nothing to promote, even yourself.
I'm going to sit like a lump and
live your life, whatever makes you happy, in the truest sense.
That's been the priority lately.
Good.
It's been great.
That is good.
Let me tell you, just like doing whatever makes you happy.
Yep. There's a freedom in that, and if you're able to, then that's good. Then more power to you.
Hedonist Jordan is here to stay.
Hey, zombie. Come on. Oh!
Oh my god.
That's a good place to end it if I ever saw one. Yay.
It's been so long since I've seen that screen.
You did well, or whatever he says. You did a good job.
You did a good job.
Yep. Well, thank you, Jordan. I would say you did a good job. Thanks for testing this out with me. And thanks for being on the Personal History of Games. And thanks for listening and watching, folks at home. See you next time on the Personal History of Games. Bye. You can hear more of the Personal History of Games on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode and want to help us out, please leave us a rating and review. For updates, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at PHOGPod, or check out our website at personalhog.com. The show is hosted and produced by Eric Kanius, executive produced by Robin Lands. Do We Like is brought to you by Beamed Media, a Canadian podcast network.